Hello and welcome to this week's Whole Week Costa. For Kev, I'm Jay. Today we're going to be talking about the Clone Wars episodes Jedi Crash and Defenders of Peace. Kev, you want to tell them what Jedi Crash was about?
When Anakin Skywalker is gravely injured in battle, Jedi General Aayla Secura must teach Ahsoka the Jedi philosophy of having no personal attachments while they brave a hostile planet in search of medical help for the Jedi Knight. Problem is with talking about this episode is I feel like this description is really basically the whole episode. I feel like both these episodes are a lot the it's a lot that the core theme of the episode is really the main thing to talk about. There really isn't much that happens like plot wise. Like, it's not like some of these earlier episodes where they take over or capture a new weapon. I mean, I guess there is a new weapon in this actually, in the next episode, but there's not a lot of exciting plot stuff that happens. It's all really in service of the message of these two episodes, which this first one is about the personal attachment. And we do see it from multiple angles because we see the droid leader. So the episode starts out that Sakura's ship is being attacked, and Anakin and Ahsoka are going to save her, and they board the ship, and then the droid leader that's there, who's not General Grievous, just a random droid leader. I think you did look up the name. But he basically decides, look, we just need to destroy this ship, and he says to all out open fire on the ship. And one of his command droids says, but there's a lot of droids on the ship, and he's like, I don't care, we just have to destroy the ship. So
Yeah, I like this episode because I mean, like you said, the plot wasn't like very pushing, but like two things that I really like were the fact that it was a very action packed episode. And then you get to see Ahsoka like learn from another Jedi again.
yeah, there's a lot of like crap. We were talking about this last week. A lot of what's the word, like a lot of cross training with Ahsoka, um but I thought it was interesting with the core theme because we actually see it right from the beginning. I didn't realize till after I finished watching the episode with that droid leader that he shows, okay, well, you have to be decisive. Again, more decisive than probably General Grievous would have been. Like, you have to be decisive. You can't form attachments to your soldiers in war. They're there for a purpose. They're there to get the job done, and that seems to be the droid way of thinking. And then Anakin's injured. We crash land on this Lurman planet, and then they there's the whole message there of Ahsoka's very worried about Anakin. They actually had to make multiple choices even on the way to the planet. They have to turn off all the power on the ship briefly, which also turns off Anakin's life support. And so they made a decision to do that first, save them all. Then they go on the planet, and Ahsoka has to make the decision to leave Anakin with the clones in order to go try to find help, which in the end turns out to be the right decision because they find help and they can help Anakin. But it's this, and then there's a discussion between Ahsoka and Sakura where Sakura says how attached she was to her master, but she had to learn to let go of him. So, sorry, go ahead. That was all I had, really.
If you think about like the Clone Wars in general, uh, like this command droid was like, oh yeah, destroy the ship. I don't care. Whereas like General Grievous, like from what we've seen, General Grievous would have like asked Dooku, like, what do we do? And then Dooku or Sidious or whatever would have said like something like to spare Anakin's life because those two know the grand scheme of the whole wars. So like Anakin is the chosen one. So like I think they would have messed it up for Grievous, and Grievous would have like bungled it, and then we would have blamed Grievous. But this like command droid just seems autonomous, and he's like, yeah, just destroy the ship. I don't care. Like we got to kill like this. We're gonna kill whatever because everybody other than Sidious, who's actually controlling the war, and Count Dooku thinks this is a real war where it's not. It's not a real world. It's to dupe the entire galaxy into allowing Sidious to take over as, Senator Palpatine.
True. I feel like that might be beyond the scope of this podcast episode, but true.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
but if you just think about it, like, yeah, you're right. It's a small episode, but like you could see how autonomous these droids are, where General Grievous is like you could tell he's still a being of some sort. Like he has a conscience, like he doesn't know what to do. Where the droids are running on, computer
Well, that's what I think.
programs.
It's Sakura says to the Lurmans that like the droids are just programmed to fight. In the second episode, but yeah, it's kind of funny. Even this episode where we don't have General Grievous, it still shows how bad of a leader he is. At least in this first season, I don't know if things get better, but um, yeah, I mean that's really just the main theme for this episode is the whole attachment thing, and then it's sort of reinforced too with the Lurman, because the Lurman, they don't have necessarily an attachment to a person. It seems like they're willing to give up their lives or the lives of their fellow villagers in order to maintain their way of life. They have an attachment to their pacifism and their way of life, and this belief that if they just, that they refuse to fight in the war. And I couldn't really tell if it's like, if there's like a little bit of not like naivete. I don't know if there's some naiveness.
Naivety?
But if they're a little bit naive, where they feel like if they maintain the pacifism, that no harm will come to them, because they say multiple times. Well, at least the leader, Tee Watt Kaa, says multiple times that 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 they, even if they're, basically says, even if they're going to get killed, that they would still maintain their pacifism, that they wouldn't pick up arms. But I wonder if he really means that, if pacifism really is the most important thing to them, or if he just believes that by maintaining that stance that they're not going to get killed. Like, we didn't really get to see a decision moment on him. That's been one of the failings of these two episodes. We didn't really get to see a decision moment from Tee Watt Kaa, where he has to decide between his pacifism or not, because the Jedi kind of make that decision for him. So it would have been interesting to see if he was really truthful with his, oh well, we'll just die before we take up arms sort of thing. I'm really not sure.
So are we going to move to Defenders of Peace now?
Yeah, let me read that. Oh, hang on. I wanted to bring up the episode description. I clicked another link by accident.
Yeah,
I
hate when that happens.
So, Defenders of Peace. While the Jedi combat a new Separatist weapon, the pacifist Lurman must decide whether they will lay down to the oppressive Separatists or fight with Anakin, Ashoka, and Jedi General Aayla Secura. Which is kind of not true. They don't decide. Again, it's kind of funny, that description, because they really don't. Tee Watt Kaa is sort of drawn into it. I mean, his son Wag 2 decides that they're going to fight back, but Wag 2 said that a lot of the other villagers already agreed with him that they should fight back. It wasn't really any decision for them to make. They just have this really rigid system where they follow the leader, even though they don't agree with it. And they were pretty clear about that. So there actually is no decision. So the episode description, 100% a lie.
I don't know if it's 100% a lie, but yeah, they make it, they put that conflict in there. I mean, if they don't help them, they're all dead anyway. So, I mean, what's the point? What's the point of like not fighting back? Like, you're going to die. And is Lock Durd a fat Nemodian? I forget what they're called.
Who was the guy? Who was the guy that we were following the last 2 weeks?
I don't know, but this general that tries the new weapon, his name is Lock Durd, and he's fat.
Yeah, I wish the separatist that they were trying to capture the last 2 weeks. He's this, Lock Durd is a fat version of that guy.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah. The main
yeah, New
new
Gunray. Yeah,
Gunray.
exactly. Yeah,
New Gunray.
he's a fat New
Yeah,
Gunray.
New
Yeah,
Gunray.
definitely. Um,
Yeah. Well, they're the
yeah.
same species. So
So, but yeah, and I don't know what are your thoughts on this new weapon that they're just gonna exterminate us, just planets? I guess. I guess the idea would be to wipe out. I guess I wasn't clear what the point of the weapon was. If the point was to use in regular pitch battles because it wouldn't hurt the droids, or to use on planets to like wipe out populations so that they could take over the planet.
I think I'm like what I feel is like the droids are expensive and they are losing droids because they're getting wiped out. So like if they could just destroy planets and build bases, without any, you know, fighting, that they can keep their grasp on the galaxy because the war is not going well for them.
That makes sense. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess either because if they use it in regular battles too, that would save droids. So I don't know. It's an interesting weapon. I wonder if we're going to see it again. I mean the test really didn't fail. I guess it still just needs further testing. I feel like this pushes back weapons development a little bit. That's really the main plot point that happened. I was looking up too the eventual fate of the Lurmans. And according to the Wikipedia article on the Lurmans, at the end of the war, the Clone Wars spread to the Lurman homeworld, Magito. In the final days of the war, a battle was fought in this frigid terrain, and sometime later, the Lurman were enslaved. So, so that sucks.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that's not good.
Although I don't know. Although I'm unclear. I don't think this was the Lurman homeworld we were on here. Because I think they mentioned um, they were settlers there. So and it sounds like the Lurman homeworld is a cold planet. So, but
Makes sense.
that's okay.
But both episodes like have a message, but all in all, like I don't. Well, the first episode was like action packed, so it was like pretty fun, and the second one, like it kind of started moving around the edge. Like I really felt like this episode, like everyone was like running back and forth to do something, just arguing. So I didn't really like this episode, but
There were a lot of running
you
scenes.
know,
I was thinking about making the video as I watched it, and I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be another shot of people running, another shot of people running." Yeah, well, at least I mean, I can. I guess I'll just motion across in the running direction. I don't know, but um, but yeah, I guess the main overarching message to this, I guess a little bit similar to the last one, as far as is it more important? Is the attachment to again in this instance, it's a belief system, versus a person with Ahsoka and Anakin. Is the attachment to a belief system, is that the end all be all? Is that, and then you can extrapolate that to like, does that sort of do the Jedi in the end? Their strict adherence to the Jedi code and the no attachment thing. Like if that wasn't such a strict code and Anakin could have had some attachment and it wasn't as frowned upon with Padme, would he ever turn to the dark side? Like, uh, I don't know. There's honestly there's a bigger message in there somewhere, um, but I feel like I do feel like it's kind of a one dimensional episode a little bit.
yeah, because I don't feel like this episode, the overarching story, like this episode, if they deleted these two episodes, it wouldn't, it wouldn't change the overarching story.
Yeah. I don't feel like there was a lot of character development. Like, I mean, I guess it was the same. I mean, Ahsoka relearned the same lesson. I mean, I'm sure she's learned other lessons about attachment. I guess we saw it here. I guess we do see that some of the impact on other species and other star systems from the overall Clone War. That there's people that don't want to be involved. So it's not like everyone in the whole galaxy is on one side or the other. There's people that don't want to be involved at all. But the war is kind of inevitable, and no matter what they do, one side or the other is going to get involved. Even them trying to stay neutral and trying not to help the Jedi didn't make any difference at all. They were still going to get wiped out by the Separatists. And I'm sure there's other planets that we're not going to see that refuse to help the Separatists and still get interfered with the Jedi. I'm sure it goes both ways.
Granted, like I still like the world building, and you still get to see more. But the episodes themselves weren't that great.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. Yeah, I was not as excited. Like some of these episodes, I was like dying to talk about after watching them. These I was struggling with sort of
Yeah,
overarching themes and stuff to talk about. But I think it was maybe all I have for these two episodes, honestly.
yeah, that's really all I have as well. So, all right, well, for Kev, I'm Jay. Thanks for listening to this week's Whole Week Costa. You can catch us on YouTube, Stitcher, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and our Libsyn page. Thanks for listening.